right. So the herpes got you down. Do we know for sure you have that diagnosis? Because that a lot of people think they have it and don't, and then a lot of people have it and don't know it.
I think that's what I have. I mean, it flares up occasionally. I take Valtrex. That helps.
Okay.
Yeah. Although my wife has never gotten it, so
maybe that's what's peculiar, huh?
Yeah. Well,
maybe she may have it and not know it.
Yeah, it just hasn't, bursted out of there.
Right. Which it's a weird illness that way. Do you go take efforts to protect her from it?
No is the short answer.
Yeah, just the Valtrex.
I'll take we don't have sex if I'm having an outbreak or whatever, and then if I feel anything, I'll take some Valtrex. But I can't afford to just be taking Valtrex all the time. So.
Right. So, which is the other thing. We got to get you some health insurance. Why didn't you sign up for Obamacare? It's no big deal.
Well, I didn't. I'm a piece of shit. I can't. I don't.
You can save yourself a lot of money.
But it's still. I feel like insurance is still like $600 a month.
I think it depends what your income is. It might be that, but you're sort of heading down a path where you're going to spend a bit more than that. It sounds like with your reflux and stuff you were telling me before the show.
Yeah, well, it was going great. I wasn't spending any money. I felt like I'm like, these people are idiots out here. And then now I'm 37. I'm starting to, but I've changed I had a pretty horrific diet.
Yeah, reflux, number one is change the diet.
Yes.
Then they put you on some Pepcid or Prilosec or something.
Prilosec, both things, yeah.
And then, let's see, keep your head elevated when you sleep.
Yeah, I tried to do that. It's taken a lot of time, but I'm starting to go the right direction now. But here's what I did. Here's how I got in trouble. So when you quit drinking, they say kind of 90 days, just do whatever you got to do, just don't drink.
Yeah.
So eat, drink. So I was drinking Cokes and Burger King, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I just never
stopped.
Curbed that, yeah. And I was doing that also before. So it was like 37 straight years of eating exclusively fast food, pasta, marinara.
But really, it's coffee, it's carbonated drinks, it's spicy stuff. It's that.
Yeah, I drink about 4 Cokes a day and Chipotle about 4 or 5 times a week.
You can't do that.
Extra hot sauce.
No good.
So now I'm out with that.
Yeah.
I'm eating a lot of grilled chicken and baked potatoes.
Good. And
yeah.
We started eating oatmeal out there.
And oatmeal and greens. And I just met this other doctor I started seeing, Dr. Aviv, who I heard was a celebrity doctor, but you'd never heard of this guy.
He's in the East, though.
Yeah, okay.
So we all hear the ones out here.
All right. Well, he's a big doctor, and his thing is avoiding all of those things and then eating a pound of vegetables and half a pound of fruit a day is like this diet that I've been trying to do, which seems like a healthy diet in general.
And then they have to do an upper endoscopy on you yet.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Now, why'd you bring that up? Because it's scaring the hell out of me. I thought I was doing all right.
You are doing all right. Where have I said that you're not?
Well, having to go to a GI, what could that be? What?
Oh, you have to, well, okay. You've been working on the reflux, but the question is, is there something causing the reflux? Is there a stricture in the esophagus? Do you have achalasia? There's all kinds of peculiar little things you can get. And then there's something...
I should have mentioned my anxiety and panic disorder.
I'm going to see if I can bring it on.
All right, great.
And then there's something called Barrett's esophagus that if you have, you want to know you have Barrett's. And then you want to know if there's something going on in the stomach too. Is there gastritis as part of this whole thing? And it just, you just want to document the anatomy and then the pathology and the lining of the gut.
Right. And, so I'm doing that. I'm going to go do that. But I feel like if I had an ulcer or Barrett's, maybe not, I have no heartburn or stomach pain whatsoever. I'm taking great big
it all
shits.
Presented with your voice?
Yeah. So what's ironic is the thing that started me worrying about it has nothing to do with, I had this white bump that turns out is like a saliva gland or something that fills occasionally. So I thought that was cancer. So I went there and he's like, oh, you have reflux. But it was all very post-nasal drip.
Yeah.
And then
you might have some of that too. Both get on your cords and stuff.
Yeah. So it's super itchy and all like dry and like mostly like a post-nasally drip thing. And then I started having breathing issues. But just recently I got diagnosed by Dr. Aviv with paradoxical vocal cord movement, which is brought on by anxiety, which I have a plethora of, and
Did he
reflux.
put a thing down and look at the paradoxical movement?
Yeah, I've done 3 of those in like 10 days.
So it's like a metal, for you guys, it's a metal rod that they stick in the back of your throat.
And through your nose. So it's like having...
Oh, you had the flex one through your nose.
Yeah. I've done 3 of those. So it's kind of like when you have water in your nose, but instead of water, it's a camera.
It's a tube.
Yeah. So, but he showed me the video and he's like, you can see your vocal cords are just closed when they're supposed to be open. Which causes more anxiety, which causes more reflux, which causes more... So I think my main issue is anxiety.
I would agree.
So I'm trying to curb that, but it's a stressful business. It's a stressful life.
Yep.
And, climate change and all that horse shit too.
Don't worry about the world. Just worry about your reflux.
All right, I appreciate that.
Okay.
But I'm trying to do better. I'm eating better and I'm trying to relax and
all right.
I hate myself.
You hate yourself?
Well, I just like to throw that out there as a at the end. That's how I end my sentences.
Just a general,
my paragraphs.
General note. I hate myself.
Yeah, I try to beat everyone to writing, you suck. I just go, no, I hate myself more than you hate me.
And your wife, is she out on the road a lot away from you, or do you guys go together?
We go together a lot. I mean, I'm gone a lot, and then we're together a lot.
How'd you guys meet?
We met just through comedy. We have no good meeting story. She remembers meeting me. I don't remember meeting her. I was drinking, and it was just kind of like, in comedy, I think that's in life maybe, people just seem to be around.
Yeah.
You're like, that guy was just always around. She's a woman. I said that guy, but my wife's a woman.
She said that about you.
Yeah. She said, I was just a guy that was around and nice. And, same with her. She's very nice.
And did the herpes thing interfere with the courtship?
Yeah. So, this is what happened. So I got herpes. This is when I was still drinking, of course. And there was like a big, we made like a fake award show for comics in New York years ago. And I won an award for shitting in a girl's shoe. And
I wish I could have handed you that award.
It was nice. And so I gave a speech. I thought it would be funny. It was like every comic was there. And I thought this was going to be hilarious. I was like, this has been a weird year. I pretended to be like giving like an Oscar speech. I was like, I want to thank God. I had a tough year. I got herpes. I mean, riddled with herpes. And I thought I'd get like a laugh, but nobody laughed. Everyone just kind of stared at me.
Oh.
And then I came off stage and my wife was like, I think it's great that you talked about that. I think people should be open. And I was like, oh, I read you. You got herpes. I thought she had herpes. That's why she was saying that. And it turns out she's just a nice person who was trying to make me feel better. And so I was like, I'll pursue her because she has herpes. And I also thought she was attractive and liked her and we were friends. But she was nervous about getting into a relationship for a while. I was very persistent. But it turns out she was nervous because A, I had herpes, and B, I had just recently shit in a woman's shoe, which is not a big turn on.
Yeah, a little bit of it's just kind of like, let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, and she was already sober. She's 10 years sober.
Oh,
so
wow.
she was out in front of me on that one. So
that's nice.
But she, realized, I'll give him a shot. He's a nice guy. So
and you were not sober yet?
No, we dated for about a year and a half when I was still drinking.
Did she motivate you to get sober?
She didn't put any pressure or bring it up at all, but she was sober. And I had a lot of friends, because I'm a comic, I had a lot of friends that were sober. So it was easy to see that, like, these people seem to be managing their lives better than I am.
Interesting.
So that was not, and I remember the day before I finally quit, I had like a list of people. I'm like, these are all people that are sober that I could hang out with. And she was, one of them, because she was my girlfriend.
Were you afraid the party was going to be over and you weren't going to be funny and all kind of stuff?
I had a story. I was talking to a friend of mine when it happened. I was like, but what happens when I go to Ireland? And he's like, when are you going to Ireland? And I was like, oh, I don't know. He's like, what? He's like, why don't you worry about Ireland when you have a ticket to Ireland? And then since, by the way, I've been to Ireland 4 times.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
And not drank at all. But you start going, what when I turn 30? What about my...
Now, you said the herpes was sort of your bottom, but you keep drinking quite a while after that, and you got a relationship going. So
yeah,
you got over that pretty quick.
Yeah, but I still felt shame every time I had that outbreak or whatever.
And you decided to be open about it. Was that the moment you were open about it?
I was open about it pretty quick after, because I was pretty good at I'm good at accepting things once I have a diagnosis. Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised there's still so much stigma around herpes.
I think so too. I mean, it's
a skin rash.
Yeah, exactly. I had sex with my wife was the third, but 2 women before I started dating my wife, when I had herpes, and one of them, we were in bed, we were fooling around, making out, and I was like, I got to tell you, I have herpes. And she was like, oh, gross, that's terrible. You fucking, this whole thing. And I was like, well, you're 1 step away from having. Like, you're me not being considerate away from getting it.
Right.
What you're doing is how you get it. So you shouldn't be that judgmental. And the other, so we ended up not having sex, obviously. And then the other one, she was great. I was like, I have herpes. And she said, well, that's not ideal. And then we fucked. So that was nice.
And you proceeded? Or
Yeah, we proceeded with the condom, of course. And my wife and I had sex with the condom for like 3 years. And then eventually I was like, listen, we're married. I would really prefer to.
And then she still didn't get it?
Not have sex
seemingly.
with it. Yeah, she doesn't have it. Or if she had, like I said, it might be dormant,
so mild or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's a healthy person, so maybe it's.
And it can be very mild. And some people, they don't even,
Yeah, occasionally she'll be like, oh, my vagina's itchy. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's herpes or whatever. I just wanted to let you know my wife has an itchy vagina occasionally.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
I think that's important for people to know.
Here's a email to this same question, it seems like. Thank you for doing this podcast. I'll get straight to it. I recently learned that I've contracted HSV1 from a one-night stand. I'm absolutely devastated. I really have a hard time dealing. I'm single, 30. Since I found out, I find myself avoiding any connection with a female due to shame. I would greatly appreciate all your advice, both on how to move forward with potential relationships.
That's how old I was. Well, 30. I was 28, but...
So, advice, what do you tell them?
I get these messages a lot, and I always respond because I know the feeling, but it sucks. But I think, first of all, the key to everything in life is acceptance. I'm working on that. Obviously, I have a lot of anxiety.
And honesty.
Yeah. So once you have it, you can't not have it. Right. So the sooner you start going, all right, I have this thing. But if you take Valtrex every day, I don't know that you would almost never have a outbreak because I don't take it. It
reduces transmissibility by like 96%.
Yeah, and I've been having sex with my wife for years. Not that I say go out there and have unprotected sex, but it's been fine. I get it occasionally. With Valtrex, is a pretty amazing drug. Like as soon as I feel anything, I can feel like a itch or like I can tell, and I take it, and it's just
gone.
It happens. And I think 25% of society has it. And once you have it, you can't get it. So you don't have to worry about getting herpes again. That's another nice thing.
There you go. Yeah, that's the part. It's so common, and yet it's so stigmatized.
Yeah.
It's very strange.